Episode 162. Damn it. I'm so glad that we had an episode on Monday because I was being lazy. You guys know what time it is. Today in the studio, we have my guest, your friend, the myth, the legend, William Wheeler.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Nice. What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. Just been running around all day today, man.
Dude, I could just imagine being a solar panel salesman and a stand-up comedian
Yeah.
and an actor
Yeah.
and a hardworking American.
Blue collar all the way.
Blue collar. Well, I don't know. You think blue collar now stands for solar and like efficient energy? You think blue collar people are totally like, oh yeah, totally switched to solar?
No, they're not taking that from us.
It would be more like you're like a V-neck,
Yeah.
a V-neck salesman.
You're right. Some days I'm more blue collar than white collar. Other days I'm more white collar than blue collar.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen me when I'm rocking one of my suits?
Oh yeah. See, there you
Yeah.
go. I've only seen you rock a suit, I think twice on stage, and then one time I think for like a birthday thing where you dressed up as a clown and you wore a
Yeah.
suit. Those were the only two times that I've seen you with a suit. But
Dude, when I started comedy, I used to wear a suit at every single open mic. Like, I just dressed up for every show, every open mic. That was my thing.
interesting. That's crazy to think about too, because when I did first see you, the first time I ever saw you was at Boise's. I saw you do an open mic there, but you were a prop comic.
Yeah.
You did prop comedy. The one joke I remember the most was when you actually take your book and it's like how to hit on women or something, or like how to get women.
Was it the How to Be Taller?
Is it how to be taller? I thought it was how to get Oh no, that's what I want you to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because so you open the book and then you're like on the cover it says how to get women, and then
Okay.
obviously you're not a tall person, so
Yeah.
you'll throw the book down and stand on it,
Oh,
and you're
okay.
taller because
Nice.
hey, the book told me I should stand on the book.
My first thought was when you said how to if the book said how to hit women, you read it, you close it, and you just fucking throw it at them.
Shut up!
Shut the fuck up!
Just get it over with. That's hilarious. No, but that's the joke I remember the most from your prop comedy career.
Nice.
Like, I'm pretty sure you had a whole routine. You probably did a bunch of other stuff, but
Yeah.
that one stood out the most. Like, I mean, I know other comics were making fun of you and stuff, but
Yeah.
what made you want to start with that? That's what's crazy. Or where did you start in entertainment?
So the way I got into comedy was I went to I forgot what they called it, but it was at the Box, and that's where I met Tito when Tito's really into improv comedy.
Okay.
And I was talking to him and Elena after the thing at the Box, and he's like, "Hey, y'all, you should come check out my open mic at Bosey Brothers on Sunday." And so I did. I was going to Bosey consistently every week for about a month and a half, and then that's when I found out about. After that much time passed, that's when I found out about like Red Door and then some of the other open mics. I was like, "Oh, there's more to this than just this one," and that's how I dived into it. And that was July of 2016.
Okay.
Like I wasn't even a year out of the Navy at that time.
Okay, so you kind of were full force into it, or you kind of just like off and on during, sometimes you're like, oh, today I'm actually doing some comedy, and maybe a month later I kind of was off the wagon for a little bit, and then I jumped back on it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Since I started, I took a couple of hiatuses because I just needed a break from it because I didn't feel like I was really inspired to write jokes or anything. I was like, I feel like I'm kind of burnt out. But I mean, I stayed pretty consistent with it for like a year and a half, 2 years before I took a short little hiatus, then came back for a while, took another hiatus.
okay.
And then I went to clown school, ironically, at the same time when I was still working at a funeral home.
So an actual clown school.
I went to an actual clown school.
What is this clown school called?
The one I went to, because there was a couple different ones, the one I went to is called Mooseburger Clown Camp.
Mooseburger Clown Camp. I gotta see.
You got to look it up.
Okay, go ahead.
It usually happens, I think, late July. usually late or beginning July. It's about when I went to it, it was about a week long, and they had classes literally from 7 in the morning to like 8 p.m.
Jesus.
And you were like literally, and it was like a,
Why is this a thing?
it was like a, yep, that's them. Yeah, those were my instructors.
Wow.
That's the lady that runs the whole camp.
This lady right here?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's Miss Mooseburger herself.
Where is this located at?
It's an hour west of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
What the fuck?
I drove all the way up there.
You drove?
I drove.
Oh my god. Wow.
I
Dang.
drove all the way up there.
So how long is this?
It was about a week long.
A week long course. Okay.
Yeah, and I even got to do some stand up comedy while I was there because they had like an open mic thing. It was like, hey, do whatever you want, and it was great. At that time, I was still doing my funeral home material because I was still working at the funeral home.
Okay.
And I was rocking at the time. I was rocking it was a shirt that had a skull on it with like some shades and I had, at the time, I had a real deadpan way of delivering all of my jokes, like even more than I do right now. And it just killed. It just, everyone loved it.
Damn, that's so crazy though. So you drove all the way out there to do a clown school.
Yeah.
And how did that go? Like, so they give you like some certificate, or they're like, you're now initiated into the Clown League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
You actually do get a certificate. I still have it with all my other clown shit at my house.
So, like, could you use this, though? Like, would you be able to be like, hey, guys, hire me. I actually went to a clown school.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, even with my acting resume, I put that was in clown school.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Where do you do acting now? Like, I know you're in acting classes.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
So the way I got into that was I saw randomly on Facebook there was a open casting call for background actors at Hotel Albuquerque. They were looking for background people when they were still filming News of the World with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
And I didn't have a resume or a headshot or anything. I just rolled in and I just stood there in line, and it was being cast by Latham Casting. And there's a few casting agencies that work just for background. They don't hire like the main actor, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the lady, forgive me, I'm forgetting her first name, Miss Latham. She looked at me and she was like, and at the time I had a goatee. Actually, here, it's the wallpaper of my phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. She looked at me and she was like, you have a very Western looking face. And I was like, okay. And she was like, are you free on from this day to this day? I was like, yep. My boss doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to be free of those days.
Nice. And she probably saw initiative in that. She's like, yeah. Cool, nice.
Yeah. Anytime real cool stuff like that happens, even when I filmed that virtual reality movie that we filmed last week at the rail yards, off with her head, I tell everyone, it's like a running joke. I say, oh, I'm going to be free those days. My boss doesn't know yet, but I'm going to be free those days. Nice. I'm not going to ask for those days off. I'm going to tell them.
That's just what I do.
It's what I do.
I usually always tell people, too, like, when they're like, oh, what do you do on the off side and shit? Like, I do stand-up comedy, or I try to play music or something, like do live performances. That's literally what I want my first job to be. So anything else is my second job. So like, hey, what do you do? It's like, yeah, I have a second job in the kitchen, but I'm trying to be famous, you know?
Are you like this where like, because I'm like this all the time, no matter like what circle of people I'm in, like, because usually when you're at work, people ask you, hey, what do you do on your free time? Oh, I do stand-up comedy. I play music. I do this. I do that. When I'm among the comedians, people ask me, oh, what do you do? I always usually say, oh, I have a job. I do this. I do that. And then I can't list the thing that I'm currently doing, obviously, you know?
Yeah.
Do you do the same thing?
Well, they kind of see that too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
since the comedians are always with us, they kind of already see the hobbies that we have.
Yeah.
Outside of like, hey, what did you do today? Oh, I had to go all the way to Santa Fe to do a solar panel sale, and I got to hit a mic, which you probably saw some people there too, right?
Yeah. From Albuquerque, I saw Joaquin and Bear.
Oh, nice.
Both Bear and Joaquin did really good.
Yeah, everyone says that room kills.
Dude. I mean, dude.
That's weird.
It is.
But I guess those are people that are there to see comedy. Like they're there to listen. They're actually there to get the joke. They're like, I'm trying to figure out if it's funny or not. Hey, It is kind of funny. You presenting it is funny. They're fans of comedy.
Yes.
So that's what I think is pretty sick about that place. I still have to go experience it myself, but I mean,
And I've done a few off the top of my head. I've done 3 different venues in Santa Fe, and just I've noticed people in Santa Fe just react differently to things that people react to here in Albuquerque. Just like here in Albuquerque, I just get real jaded with the crowds here in Albuquerque, and then I go up to Santa Fe, and almost everything hits.
okay,
Almost everything hits.
that's crazy.
Like it's to the point where like I was, because I did, my language joke where I say, oh, like English isn't heavy enough. Sometimes you need to say a cool thing in Spanish, a cool thing in French, stare in Navajo.
Yeah.
I said that, I did that joke at Sidewinders. It got uncomfortably silent. Structurally, I believe it's a good joke. Structurally,
Yeah.
It just, you got to know your crowd.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
It's like nobody really thinks that that's an aspect of it is like the crowd, but I mean,
It is.
have you gone to Royals Mike yet on Mondays?
The first time was, I was gonna go this week, but it got rained out, so I went last week.
Oh, you
and
did?
there was a lot of people talking.
It's crazy, right? There's so. Oh yeah, you were there. Yeah, that's a different environment too, because like there, as you saw, who's a good example, Cody Dove.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how he kind of controlled the crowd
Yeah.
in a certain way compared to like the other comedians couldn't do. So that's, again, working the room or knowing how to do it in a specific way.
Yeah.
That blew me away. Like working rooms like that is pretty crazy. But then again, we have to give a shout out to you, or a big thanks, because literally us getting better at comedy during COVID was because of you. Like, we didn't even, there's so many people that didn't even practice, that didn't even get any reps in, nothing. But you, being the generous person you are, and very, well, you love comedy, so you're trying to get out there too. I mean, you pretty much did like a underground kind of,
Yeah. Bit of a speakeasy, if you will.
but it still wasn't a healthy, cool environment where we kind of learned from each other.
Yeah.
One thing that I got from it was, if we go to open mics, say we went to fucking the Red Door or even the Red Velvet, and it's just nothing but comedians, we're not really listening to ourselves. We're just fucking chatting amongst each other outside, doing a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah. If you haven't gone up yet, you're in your own head thinking of what you're going to say.
Yeah, but yet here at the garage, it's still the same aspect because it's just all comedians. But yet we're still entertained and listening to each other's material, where we're giving each other feedback in a way that technically should be done at those open mics back in the day. Maybe we're kind of leading the forefront in a different way too, because now you see a bunch of people supporting them where they're like, hey, I'll go to whatever show you have going on, or I'll come check out your show. So I don't know, I feel like just that aspect of you opening up your garage has been pretty helpful in that sense.
And I thank you for saying that. I think it is the comedy in a garage is the purest form of freedom of speech, because obviously you live in a place in America, obviously we live in America, yet we have freedom of speech here. You go to a comedy club, it's a little bit a pure form of freedom of speech, because you're going to say, jokes, and then you go do comedy in a garage where there's absolutely no filters, it's the purest form of speech. Yeah. Where like doing comedy in the garage, I never thought I'd feel so free to say anything. Because, even doing comedy at an open mic, in a welcoming open mic, there's still that degree of that, even if it's just a slim hair of a degree of
cancel culture material.
Yeah,
or anything.
And I hate that so much, dude.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. Oh, Chris Rock said that actually cancel culture is making comedy less funny. Like, literally, we are scared to say stuff, or we say something and their first instinct is to stop them and cancel that person.
Yeah.
Where back in the day, it would be more of a sense where, like, crowd reaction is all you needed. Like, they didn't respond, that joke sucked. That's all you needed. Let's go on to the next one. Not, hey, let me go ahead and record this, put it in a 15-second YouTube clip, and then it blows up, and now it seems like he's a rapist or something. Like,
Yeah.
that's so crazy.
Out of context, yeah.
That's ridiculous how life is like that, though. Do you think it's something that is more... I don't know, how would you explain what cancel culture is now? Like, okay, this is... I always wanted to bring this up with you, too, because this is actually when I first met you, too. The very first time I went to your garage, I don't know if you feel comfortable saying this or not, but you actually have an actual Confederate flag.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool. Like, it's not like, I get the aspect of the Confederate flag has disrespectful meaning and
Yeah.
it's so horrific or whatever the heck. But even in your aspect, like the story of how you got it,
Yeah.
it kind of like, that's dope. That's really cool. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, you got it, and your story makes it even more justifiable why you have it.
Yeah.
But then again, that was the only time and the last time I ever saw that in your house again. And that makes me feel like, since you've invited people to the garage, you have to kind of adapt yourself to cancel culture because you don't want to offend anybody either.
It's not even, I mean, yeah, there is that. And I still have that flag.
Yeah, you're not going to get rid of it.
I'm not going to get rid of it. No.
I get it.
You know, because when you saw it, that was for my birthday party, wasn't it?
I think I was there the whole thing that happened with it and everything.
Yeah. And it almost got sold for $100. And like, that's the second time that someone offered to buy it. And the first person was actually someone I was dating at the time. She asked me, William, can I borrow your flag? I was like, why you want to borrow my flag? Actually, can I have your flag? Why? Just tell me why. Well, I sent a picture of it to my friends and we kind of want to burn it. I'm like, I won't just give it to you. I'll sell it to you, $100. And she's like, oh, okay. And I told her, because I'm fucking stubborn. I'm kind of a salty asshole from being in the Navy. I was like, you know what I'm going to do with that $100? I'm going to buy an even bigger Confederate flag.
Just to let you guys know, that one only cost 15 cents. But yeah, it's weird to think that, like, again, even yourself, like, I'm pretty sure you have aspects and different stuff about you that you probably would feel more comfortable, like, oh man, I don't know if I can even tell people that I'm like this and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, one of the biggest things too is like just even owning a gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird to some people. And it's like kind of like, oh my God, like, is this guy crazy and stuff? Like,
yeah. No. And I tell everyone this, like, there's a lot of situations that cannot be solved with academics. Some problems can only be solved with violence. It's just hand over foot. It's sad that we live in a world that's like that, but it's what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, I guess you could say we have that ape mentality, right?
Yeah.
It's just to brute force or dominate or whatever the case may be. Even if you want to bring it to the sense of like alphas and betas, even betas fight against each other in a sense where they're trying to dominate in that circle too. Yeah. So
it's about not just surviving. Sometimes it's about thriving, you know?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Dude, the fact that like different things about life have gone crazy now, like one of my subscribers was talking about the COVID question. What do you think about what it is? Like, do you think it actually was a lab leak? Do you think it had something to do with manipulating our government? Do you feel like it was an accident? Where's your thoughts on this?
I think it's kind of changed from the time it started to now, because I believe life is about keeping things in balance, you know, because it's equally intellectually lazy to think something is that isn't as it is to think something isn't that is. So at first, because, you know, the government's done shady shit like Project Ultra and like all testing on our own citizens and stuff. So there's that aspect of it. You can't throw that away. But then maybe, you can't throw away, like, if it actually happened that they were saying that it happened in that way, like, you know, it just broke out in China and it was a bad thing that spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
And but then I was also thinking, well, maybe it was another government trying to make China look bad by sending someone over there with a virus, just planting it maybe at that lab or in
that area.
Just knowing it was going to grow and spread. And then China looks like the bad guy, you know?
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to think about, too, because we as, like, peasants and, like, the peon of the whole world situation, we'll never know what's going on with, like, even, like, cultures that are like colliding with each other. Like, I don't know if China and America really hate each other and why they're trying to like compete over power over soup. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of China's like 100-year plan to take over the whole world. Like, they've honestly always wanted to be the superpower.
Yeah.
It's in their dynasty to be the superpower. So with that aspect, it's like, are we kind of in this sense where maybe COVID was something to make us feel unsafe or manipulate something, or was it really just an accident that happens all the time? Like, again, do you think us as Americans would be that naive to be like, oh shit, something came out of the CDC and we're accidentally infected the whole world? Like, I don't know, it fucking blows me away. But again, I'm kind of like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
So like there's the weirdest things that are just like, that might be possible. Who knows?
Well, that's how we found out the truth about a few things from conspiracy theories, because it turned out to be true.
Yeah, I know, right? The whole oil thing. There's you can even just go lists of conspiracy theories that are down there, the rabbit hole of like, ridiculousness.
Like, I'm not fresh on my conspiracy theories, but like when I was diving deep into the JFK hole, like if you look at it like the JFK shooting plausibly, like, oh, all right, it wasn't the government, it wasn't the mafia that took out JFK, it was one disgruntled guy that was in the right place at the right time, and he shot him with this rifle. And then Jack Ruby came and shot him, who you read Jack Ruby's backstory, he probably didn't work for the government, he was just an angry man that thought he was doing something good for the country by shooting this guy that shot the president. That is, if you look at it that in that lens from start to finish, it is a very possible that happened that way.
Yeah.
And then you read all the conspiracy theories, maybe the mafia offed him, maybe it was the government. Those are very plausible too.
That's the worst part about it, right? It's like they actually bring evidence where you're just like, holy fuck, this might be real.
Yeah.
But then the beauty of the internet and stuff now, and kind of the negative aspect about it, is like you can debunk anything.
Yeah.
Like there's debunked videos of the Earth being round. Why?
Yeah.
Why? They're not flat earthers, but they're debunking why people think the Earth is round. Like. There's some that have hundreds of thousands of views, so that's totally manipulating the masses to like just be dumb, and that's kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But then again,
and then people like you and me have to go fucking deal with those people.
Yeah, dude. And then what do we do? To be honest, like, what do we really know about the whole aspect of the universe and the world? Like, are you a religious man? Do you have any religious background or anything about that sense?
I would consider myself a Christian. I don't go to church every Sunday like I used to. I don't read my Bible every day, but I'm a believer, yeah.
You do think, like, there is an afterlife in a sense and stuff like that? Interesting. That's actually really cool, too, because I feel like there is something that we just can't understand.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, what is it? And the shitty part is that there's too many stories that represent what it could be that I can't deny any of them. So, like, again, there might be the Christian story of why Jesus and everything like that, there is a heaven. But then again, can I not believe in, like, reincarnation and, like, being a Buddhist and, like, being able to come back as something else or anything else again? Like, is that true or not? Like, can I be that kind of person who's just like, oh, I can't believe in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, how open-minded are you in that sense?
I'm pretty open-minded because I was actually, to bounce off what you were saying, I'm trying to... I've been calling...
He was a Satanist, everybody.
Hey, they don't have bad ideas once you start studying what their sins are, you know.
It's about being a individual, not following a leader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I read anyone that didn't know I was reading off like I think it's like 9 sins or the 11 sins of Satanists, most people would agree with them. Like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But the best way I could call it is energy science. And so what I mean by that is...
He's trying to get a pitch off, guys.
Let me give you my card.
Let me tell you about this energy that we all acquire.
There's this thing called the sun.
Beautiful. Okay, go ahead.
No, but the person that opened my eyes to this was a chick that I met actually on the set. Well, a day before I started filming for News of the World, and then coincidentally, we were both working on News of the World at the same time. Anyway, she is the epitome of positivity. I brag about her all the time. Her name's Tasha. Okay. She's just awesome. She's
Someone has a crush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's really nice.
She's dope, dude. She's just dope.
Shout out.
But she is like the most positive. She is like the epitome of positivity. Yeah. And she just, like, we'd be on set and she'd start talking to people, and they'd talk like they had known each other for years. And I would ask, hey, how did you know each other? And they're like, I literally just met that chick like 10 seconds ago. I was like, what the blew my fucking mind.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like on the other end of the spectrum. Like, the Navy kind of made me like salty, bitter, and vindictive. And because I think sometimes you need to balance positivity with, I want to say negativity, or maybe realism, pessimism.
Okay.
I'll use those words. And then we meet somewhere in between. Anyway, she showed me a video called the Rice Experiment. Have you ever heard of this?
I have not.
Okay, so it was based off an experiment that was done by a Japanese scientist with, he did an experiment with water. Well, what the rice experiment is, you make a pot of rice, yeah? And then you separate the rice into 3 separate jars, and you label
Is it
them.
the fermentation where like just the speech of what you give them kind of like this sounds so familiar, especially with the water one, like you said.
No, it doesn't deal with fermentation,
Okay, go ahead.
but you label them love, hate, and ignore.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you're actually talking out loud to the rice, and you have to have intentions behind your words. You can't just go through the motions.
Yeah.
Because it'll fuck up your results. But at the end of the experiment, you run it for 2 weeks, a month, however long you want. But the love jar, it'll look almost perfect. Obviously, rice is going to age, but it's going to look nearly perfect on day, compared to day one.
Yeah.
The hate jar is going to be all nasty, brown, moldy, and shitty looking.
Yeah.
The ignore jar will be somewhere in between. So that kind of lends itself to like things have water in it, because people have done the same experiment with like plants.
Yeah.
That's why people talk to plants. People did the same experiment with like an apple.
It's
so
crazy.
It kind of deals with that lends itself, if just putting your energy into something, it'll affect anything that has water in it.
Yeah.
And so like if that will happen, if those things will happen to like rice and plants, imagine what it'll do. Obviously, we see it when he's be real positive, real shitty to people, because we're made up of like what, 72% water or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of what we are based is water.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying too, because I'm pretty sure I saw that documentary where like they did that same aspect with flash freezing water. Mm-hmm. So like they had a water droplet and they flash freeze it in a second. But in that second, that's when they actually have some kind of sound going on where it's positive, like I love you, I love you. The crystal, when it's frozen, is so symmetrical and perfect. It looks amazing. But the ones with negative aspect look dull, broken, just disformed and everything, all from the aspects of just saying stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy to think about that there is some kind of like energy out there that can I guess manipulate certain things and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the crazy thing that I find out of all of this is that if we literally break down to the bare minimum, which is probably just an atom, electron, and a proton, that's pretty much everything. Like there should be no real difference between this bottle and me because of what we're technically made of. Mm-hmm. And then the structure of it. So we should be able to, one day maybe, science, whatever, is going to be able to do something to make us more enlightened and do stuff like that. But then again, we know nothing about even our human brain. So,
yeah.
I mean, we don't even really know technically. I mean, this is, again, I'm not a fucking scientist, or I don't speak a bunch of facts. I just, I read a headline and I think I know what I'm talking about.
Just spitting what you remember.
But dude, even the human body is complicated, right? Yeah. I mean, you could just open it up and it'd be like a huge, I love that movie. You remember that movie back in the day called Osmosis Jones?
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that in itself is like a whole world inside of your body that has that same consciousness probably. Like one of those red blood cells probably does think and live like, hey man, what's up?
Well, we didn't know about DNA until what, 20 years ago?
Was it 20 years ago?
It was like the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that.
Let's see, discovery of DNA.
No, we knew about germs really long time ago. But I think it was DNA. I could be wrong. It's been a minute. But the body's so complex, there's reasons why it's that we have specialists just for a nose, just for a heart, just for lungs,
Yeah. It says that DNA was discovered in 1869 by Swiss researcher Frederick Mescher, who originally tried to study the composition of lipid cells, a white blood cell.
Oh.
So yeah, but there's probably been more advancements and stuff like that. because what was it too? There's something different known as what is it called? RNA, right?
RNA.
Have you ever heard of RNA?
Is it reality?
The discovery of RNA begins with the discovery of a nuclear acid in 1965, but it's technically the same, kind of like DNA, but it's a little different. Yeah, it's called RNA.
I'm gonna have to look into this.
And that's what's crazy too. Is there's too much science. I can't follow all this.
Yeah. And then any one human being only has X amount of time on this earth, you know?
Yeah, that's hard too. Yeah.
And then we have to sleep like 8 hours of every day, you know?
That's horrible.
Imagine how much progress we would get done if we didn't have to sleep anymore.
So okay, then if that would be the case, how do you feel about cybernetic enhancements?
I'm down for it.
You're cool with it? Mm-hmm. Even something like a microchip in your head?
Once you start fucking with the brain, that's when I start getting iffy. Like if it's parts like replacing an arm or a leg, like that maybe even a torso, I'm down with that. But once it starts getting to like putting stuff in the head, that's where I'm kind of like, maybe I'm a caveman when it comes to that. Like maybe in my lifetime, if we get like robotic body parts, and then my grandkids have like these microchips in their head, and they could do all these supercomputer things with their just with their brains. And I'm like, oh, back in my day, we only did our thinking with our regular brain, you know,
with our God-given brain,
our goddamn given brain.
But I don't know if you know this, but Elon Musk is actually inventing a computer chip to go in your brain called Neuralinks. He's already had animal testing done.
I'm not surprised.
So we're close. We're very close. And
that guy's so ridiculously smart. He's on a different level than the rest of us.
So this is a good thing for like multiple like dementia patients might be able to benefit from this. People that actually have like a paralysis in certain areas of their body. Like that's the crazy thing too, is that everything in our whole body is controlled with our brain. The way our blood flows, the way the movements in our eyes, like our hand gestures,
reaction times if something's flying at you.
It's that blows me away in itself too. So if all we need was to enhance that, would that be something that would be more beneficial to you? Instead, because again, they can be like, hey, robotic arms are way too expensive. They're way too hard to put on you. We can just put the microchip in you and it'd do exactly the same thing, if not better.
If it could speed up my processing of like how fast I can think about things and react to things, in that sense, I might be down for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because there's so many things I want to learn and like master and I'm a decently smart guy. I'm no Elon Musk, but I'm a somewhat smart guy. I like to think. But if I could think faster than what I do now, fuck, man.
It'd be just intense, right?
Yeah.
I could just imagine just being able to like think or do those things. Like the only thing that's probably hindering me is probably my muscle memory. But then again, doesn't that come from the brain too?
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, yeah, I would imagine, right? I mean,
well, have you heard stories of when like someone needs like an organ transplant? Like, have you heard stories of like, say someone died and then they were an organ donor and their eyes were being given to somebody, their heart was given to someone else, and then that person received the memories of the person that died. Yeah. So maybe muscle memory is to a degree instilled in our physical like limbs and organs. You know what I'm saying?
I guess that brings back the aspect of like the water molecule,
the water thing. Yeah. And well, did you see Frozen 2?
I didn't.
Okay, I realize what I'm about to say. I'm talking about a fucking Disney movie.
Here we go.
But like they deal with like memories being in water in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when she's like freezing stuff, she uncovers like some memories that were frozen within water within the movie, and
of like, herself or something that happened, or
something that happened in the past, and she learned about some stuff, and then she used that to help resolve the problem that they had at hand. I have to watch the movie again. I don't remember every single detail. Don't watch the movie again. I might watch the movie again.
I feel like nowadays, too, it's not even no point to watch any movies because you could just watch a YouTube video about it in 15 minutes.
Well, speaking of YouTube, do you watch your YouTube videos on a faster speed? Like, almost nearly every YouTube video I watch it with the playback at 2x.
Interesting. I no, I mean, I'd never even heard of anybody trying to
No.
do that. But why is that? Is it just to get the information faster, to go through the video faster?
Yeah, because sometimes, like, it kills me when I'm listening to people talk. Not that I'm trying to be unfriendly, but they're just, like, talking at an agonizingly slow pace. I'm like, fucking spit it out already, you know?
Yeah.
Just want to fucking hang myself sometimes.
So you can just get everything done really fast and get everything you talk about. Is that
Exactly. When it comes to videos that are just spitting out facts or information, yeah. I'll watch it at like as fast as I can like hear and understand it. Because some people, they will talk so fast where like if I do it at 2 times the speed, it'll be like way too fast for me to listen to. So sometimes I'll drop it down to like 1.5.
Okay.
But some people, they talk so fucking slow, dude, that when I put it up to 2.5, they were talking at like a normal speed.
it seems like they're talking normally.
And then I put it back down to normal, and then they're like slow.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So just the fact that you listen to them faster is pretty crazy to think about. Because I mean, what would be an example? You see like a top 10 video, and you're just like top 10 videos of
Top 10 videos.
and then you're just like
Yeah. If it's a comedy special that I've already seen. The only time that playing it faster will go against you is when you're watching a movie or a TV show, because you start missing all the subtle little emotional aspects of things.
Yeah.
That's when playing something fast starts like swallowing like the emotional part of the movie, you know?
Okay, I kind of have that same aspect with background noise. Like I always rewatch a lot of things or watch a lot of comedy specials or anything like that in the background. But when I really want to watch it and pay attention to it, then it's like, you know, something new or something. But I've had to have at least seen it a few times to already be like, I know what joke is coming. I'm going to just like, I'm like doing the dishes or something. I'll just be like, hold on for a second, look to the TV and just be like, ah, yeah, and just start over, you know, just kind of get the feel like that. So I kind of get the aspect of like wanting to just like regurgitate that information. And that's the crazy thing about just growing up and stuff too. Like I don't feel like I wanted to be smarter until I actually got older. Like high school sucked. Like I didn't want to learn in high school. I wasn't trying to be smarter in high school. It wasn't until like I was in like probably like 23 that I was like, holy shit, this is actually going on in the world, or holy shit, there's this that's actually matters. Like, it's crazy how I guess your aspect of what you want to learn and do is crazy and different. Like when did you start learning like how to do magic and stuff like that? Was that part of the clown thing?
That's part of the clown thing, yeah.
Oh my
when
God,
I started buying all my props and stuff.
I hate clowns. You like learn 5 trades just by being a clown. You're like, dude, I can even fucking build a house.
That's where I learned like slapstick comedy, how to be physical, learning how to take a fall on the ground.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, because I'm a huge wrestling fan, I kind of started picking up on how they like land on the ground so they can extend the life of the career like to like 30, 40, 50 years in the wrestling business. Because like after a while, because when you're a kid watching wrestling, you're like, whoa, how is he got hit in the head with a chair. How's he coming back for a show next week? You know, how are they able to do all this shit? And then you get older and you're like, there's got to be a way that they're taking these shots and like, I mean, obviously they take bumps every now and then, just to keep up the kayfabe illusion of things. But there's a trick to it, you know.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up wrestling because I am a big wrestling fan of the earlier ages. Like I don't really watch wrestling anymore. My little brother is so into it. He actually has a fucking legit replica of the World Championship belt, the red one, the newest one.
Oh, that one's on Raw. Oh no, was it on Raw?
I think it might be on Raw.
Was it the Universal Championship?
I think so.
I think for a while the one for Raw was red, and then they changed it to the WWE Championship, and they turned it black again. And then the one on SmackDown, I think that one's blue.
Okay, so that I would, dude, just the amount that thing costs is just fucking ridiculous. Like, but anyways, back in the day, I was a big fan. It's that bad boy.
Yeah, the Universal Championship.
I was a big fan, and knowing the wrestling history and stuff, I didn't know about like the whole being a heel, the way that the whole wrestling structure works. I was just in it for the whole like, fucking wrestling, it's dope. So the whole Attitude Era, Raw's War, the whole
The Monday Night Wars, yeah.
yeah, that was the fucking culmination of it all because WWE versus WCW was amazing. And then you end up learning about like Raw or not ECW as well, which is just like another hardcore version of that
Yeah.
shit. But then the older I got, I ended up doing more research and learning about it.
Yeah.
It was way more of a like weird like community niche, like oh my
Yeah.
god, like the A, and I can't remember any of the actual organizations back in the day, but like
And like NWA, the
No.
National Wrestling Alliance.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It turned into WCW.
yeah, there you go. And then even something in Canada where the Brett family used to do.
Yeah, dude, there was like 1,000 territories before Vince McMahon bought them all in, which ended up becoming the WWF.
Did you ever have you ever seen a show on Vice called The Dark Side of the Ring?
I've seen clips and snippets, but I haven't
You
seen.
have to.
I hear good things about it.
You can watch it on YouTube. Just type in the full episode, and you could
Yeah.
at least find the first 2 seasons. So there's some of those on there. But there's some things that I never even knew about. Like, have you ever heard of the Montreal Screwjob?
Yeah.
That's so. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
They do that stuff, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's when it starts blurring the lines of like what's
Real and what's fake.
Yeah,
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it turns into like a real shoot. It turns into a shoot, which is like wrestling lingo for like real shit happening.
Yeah.
There's actual backstage heat between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. So for those that don't know, Bret Hart was born, raised in Canada, and he was at the time the current WWF champion for Vince McMahon, and his contract was coming up, and he hadn't re-signed to a new contract yet.
Yeah.
So Vince wanted him to drop the belt to the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels
But he didn't
in
want-
Canada. He didn't want to drop the belt in Canada. He's like, listen, I don't want to drop the belt in my hometown. I will drop it at the next show when we're back at the States. But Vince was like, I don't want to take that chance because Bret Hart, if he just ran off to WCW with the belt, he wouldn't have been the first wrestler to do that because Medusa, who was the women's champion for WWF at the time, that's such a fucking rabbit hole. She was supposed to show up on WWF programming one night, but Monday Night Nitro and Raw, Monday Night Raw was happening at the same time, exact time. So she shows up on WCW programming with her WWF Women's Championship belt and just throws it in the trash.
I did see that promo.
Yeah.
And what's crazy too is that even the aspect of when they started to do the Monday Night Wars was so beautiful because Eric Bischoff had those ideas that were just a little bit better than Vince McMahon's. Like, I hate to say that, but again, when you watch The Dark Side of the Ring, you'll see like these things that Eric Bischoff did. Like, what the fuck? That's genius! Like going live, and everything else was scripted on Raw. Like it wasn't scripted, but it was filmed, and then all of a sudden it was actually distributed. When they're just like, let's do it live. That blew me the fuck away.
Yeah.
To think that like, holy shit, these people are actually doing this on a live actual setting. Like you pay pay-per-view to see this stuff. You don't get to see it every fucking Monday night. So that was beautiful. I love that about it. And then I guess there was this event that Eric Bischoff put on where it was actually wrestling in Korea. I don't know if you've ever heard about this or anything.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
But dude, that was the biggest event ever put on in wrestling history. But he doesn't get the credit for that. Literally putting on, like, having wrestlers go to North Korea, not even South Korea. They went to North Korea to kind of bring everybody for this wrestling promotion because wrestling is really, really big in Japan.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Huge.
So
there was this really big wrestler in Japan that's trying to unite North and South Korea and all the controversy that's going on there. So he actually put on an event in North Korea and had wrestlers from America come there.
Considering the time frame, was it Antonio Inaki?
I think so.
Did he have like movie star good looks? Kind
the
of
biggest jaw in the
Yeah,
world.
that was Antonio Inaki. Yeah.
That's so crazy to think about. And the most most people at an event for a wrestling event was there that Eric Bischoff put on.
Random side note about Antonio Inaki: there was a televised match too. I forgot who he was wrestling, but he was wrestling this fat troll looking guy with like a Prince Valiant looking haircut, And this guy, he was a big fat guy, but he just was not selling any of Antonio's moves. He was just being an asshole. He was not selling any of his moves. And then finally Antonio got fucking pissed off, and then it became a shoot. He started like hitting him for real and slapping him around, and he dropped him pretty quick.
Damn.
Yeah.
But it actually turned into a fight almost.
It turned into a shoot, yeah.
Damn, that's so dope.
So that goes to show you, be a professional, sell the moves,
That's the best way it works. Like you see it all the time. Like I actually saw this recently was the Hell in the Cell match with Mankind and Undertaker. Again, like that is literally somebody putting all the stops in that match.
Yeah.
But see, this is what blows me away is like when they started the match, it's literally like they're literally like, okay, we're gonna start the match, and then all of a sudden Mankind goes out first, and he's just like, I'm gonna climb the cage.
Yeah.
And that's what blows me away is like this stuff isn't scripted at that point. Like they really come up with these ideas and these like aspects of like, oh man, this would be amazing. People would probably go crazy if they saw me go on top of the cage.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of wrestling.
Yeah.
How they do that stuff.
And then everything just like melds so perfectly together. Like Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Like Jim Ross, he was like, "Oh my God, as God is my witness, he's broken in half."
Yeah, like the anticipation and the dramatic talk, everything.
Just the flair, the over the top characters. Like honestly, as much as some of the high profile matches are as entertaining as they are to watch, I almost love the promos more than the actual wrestling sometimes.
Interesting.
Like Macho Man Randy Savage, he was the only wrestler that I can think of that was so magical. He could be talking to you and then be turning around and like have his back towards the camera and be talking to Mean Gene Okerlund, and it's still fucking awesome.
Yeah, you still feel it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
He's like the only wrestler I could think of that could get away with that.
So, like, being a wrestling fan that you are, do you have a WrestleMania that's your favorite? What, out of all the WrestleManias, do you have one specific one? I know that kind of seems a little difficult, but there should be at least one WrestleMania that
sticks out
of all of them. I'll let you think.
When you say favorite WrestleMania, I have to consider all the matches on the card. I can't just pick one WrestleMania that had my favorite match out of all of them.
That's true. That's where I'm coming from, too.
Yeah.
So my decision, hopefully you'll respect in the same way, too. But for my pick, my favorite WrestleMania was WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
With the ladder match with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon.
That was a good one.
Doink the Clown facing with his midgets on the other guys. That was awesome. Lex Luthor versus Yokozuna, and not only that, Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. So it was actually a double champion match where
that was the one that was outside, right?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but it was a weird the way that they did it too. But it was the title was actually had to be defended twice that night. And the first time Lex Luthor went against Yokozuna, and Lex Luthor lost. Lex Luger, yeah.
Not Superman.
I know.
Not Superman's rival.
That's where they got the name, right? Is that where they came
I don't know.
They had to have. I mean,
they made a parody of it on Robot Chicken.
There you go. That's probably where I got it from there, too.
There was a little kid who's like, "Oh my God, Superman! It's Lex Luger!" Like the wrestler? Oh, you think the wrestler's going to come and stop Superman? And then Lex him in the torture rack.
That's hilarious. But yeah, he lost, and then Bret Hart went against him, and he ended up winning. And then it was a big old ceremony in the ring and stuff like that. So that one stood out to me the most.
Wasn't there? It might not have been a WrestleMania. I could be wrong, but wasn't there one that was outside where Bret Hart lost his title? I think it was the WWF title to Yokozuna, and then Hulk Hogan came down and like beat Yokozuna like 3 minutes later or something like that. That same WrestleMania.
I think that was WrestleMania 9. Where he had to redeem himself.
And I think that was the same one that The Undertaker fought Giant Gonzalez.
Okay. WrestleMania 9. It's just the fact that they're still fucking... Oh, it was that. Yep, you're right. See, that's so crazy that we like one right after the other. Like I liked WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Well, I like 10 because that's the redemption of 9. But yeah, that was WrestleMania 10. You're right, or
Yeah.
WrestleMania 9.
Good Hulk Hogan. He has a shiner right there.
Dude, that's crazy.
Man.
To think like that used to be the American hero. Now he's just like a weird like sex addict. It's weird how that stuff works.
Yeah.
To think though, like other wrestlers that actually went from wrestling to the UFC, like Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar, for example.
Batista did for a bit.
Really
Yeah, for a short bit. He only had a few matches.
interesting. And so did I don't know if you saw
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and CM Punk.
CM Punk, yeah.
Yeah, for-
They actually put CM Punk in a UFC video game. Oh, one video game.
I hate that. I hate everything about that.
He you would pretty much lose if you picked him. In the
Right? He
game.
had the worst stats out of all of them. He's like, oh my god, he's got a lot of taunting moves. Why is that?
I think it was that same game. I forgot which UFC it was, but like you can download Mike Tyson as a playable fighter and Bruce Lee.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like Mike Tyson, his leg strength obviously wasn't like up to par with everyone else, but his punching strength,
Oh my
God, you could beat practically anyone like with Mike Tyson in that game.
Just knock him to the
Just
floor.
like do. Yeah,
That's so
as long
hilarious.
as they didn't take you down to the ground, you were good.
That's so hilarious. I don't know. I think the only UFC game I played up to UFC 3. I think UFC 2 is pretty cool too, but I don't remember because they had these weird control systems where like you have to use the analog sticks to like control grappling moves and shit like that.
I was never good at that.
Yeah, everybody always just brawled. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But
Did you ever play Fight Night?
I did not.
It was a boxing game.
I did not though. How about the wrestling games? You play any of the wrestling games?
It's been
The best game is obviously WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
It was a black.
for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I still have it. Yeah,
That was the best. But
and WWF No Mercy.
No Mercy.
That was a good one too.
That was the black one.
Yeah.
The
2000 was green.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah. The No Mercy, dude. Oh my god, I remember those games so much.
Dude, you could actually do 3D with the Dudley Boys on whichever one that they were on.
I think it was No Mercy. It had to be No Mercy.
They both had to do the not the like quick grapple, but the weird like
the more intense.
the
grapple,
strong grapple. They both had to strong grapple at the same time. And then they would 3D somebody.
That's so dope.
I fangirled when I found that I was a little kid. I was like, oh my god.
Nice. Dude, that game is sick. I remember playing that like so wholeheartedly. So you had like a N64 growing up. What was
Yeah.
like your main consoles growing up? Like what did you go through?
I started with the Super Nintendo, not the very first Nintendo, but the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the SNES.
Yeah, I started with that one, then graduated to the Nintendo 64. Never had a PlayStation.
Not until later.
I jumped PlayStation 1 and got a PlayStation 2 when that one came out.
Did you get a GameCube at all? Did you fuck with the GameCube?
I never did. No.
Oh man, those were fun.
I could only I really wanted to because there was a couple of games for the GameCube I really wanted to play. Like I think that was the last Pokemon Stadium game that came out.
Yeah.
Was for the GameCube.
Yep.
And I always wanted to play Luigi's Mansion.
That's dope too.
The one where you suck up all the ghosts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only got to play the GameCube like a couple of times. I pretty much stuck with PlayStation even up to now.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, do I? No, the 5's the new one, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the 5.
Yeah, we're all trying to get the 5. That's the worst part about it. Why do they make technology that you can't get? That's so stupid. It pisses me off.
What's cool about the latest Mortal Kombat game is that if you buy they give you a code to download Mortal Kombat for the PS5 free if you bought it for the PS4.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
you're just waiting for that transfer.
Yeah, once I get the PS5.
So wait, did you ever buy a God of War?
For the PlayStation 2 time frame, yeah.
No, so anything after that you didn't really play?
I borrowed the newest one from Robert.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I love Viking lore mythology, and like they did it right.
Dude, it's so intense the shit you can do on that game.
I hear the next one's gonna come out. I think next year.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're calling it God of War Ragnarok.
I hate everything. I liked when they stick with the Greek mythology more.
Well, dude, he fucking wrecked everyone in 3 games, man.
I know, but still, I mean, he should have went more. He should have went to like. I guess I'm more of a fan of like more older mythology. Well, I can't even say that. Like, what's older, Egyptian mythology or Norse mythology?
Well, that was the thing that they explored in one scene in the latest God of War, where they were looking at this map and they had different war symbols from different countries, well, or nations. One being from Egypt, one being from he was from Greece, one for Vikings, and I think one was from Japan. I don't remember the other one.
Interesting. That's a lot to put into a game.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a thing you had to find. It was like a main cutscene with him and Atreus.
Oh, nice. Boy, get over here, boy.
Boy,
It's hilarious.
if I ever have a son, I'm whatever his real name's gonna be, I will never call him that.
Yeah.
I'll just call him Boy until he's like 18.
No, even past that, in his 30s. Get over here, boy.
Boy.
I'm tired of you always just walking away from me.
Yeah, he used it like a period in that game. I'm a god, boy.
Boy.
Have you nothing to say?
Boy. That I love that game. That game was dope. But technology's getting so advanced with computers now. Like, have you fucked with the VR yet?
The Oculus?
Yeah, any of it? Like the PlayStation VR, the Oculus?
Not the PlayStation. I've messed with the Oculus, which, ironically enough, the movie I filmed last week, it is specifically for the Oculus.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can literally
you watch it on the Oculus.
Yeah,
You know,
like the movie was filmed in virtual reality. Yeah, it's like there's shit happening all over. So you can literally be like spinning around in a swivel chair and watching the whole movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Was it? It's a what type of movie is it? It's like a.
It's about. I mean, for the longest time, I had no fucking idea what the movie was about. But then we were filming, and I was like, okay. So what the movie is about is it's about each section of the movie, because it's about Marie Antoinette before she gets beheaded. Ultimately, she gets beheaded, as you know, we know in history. But like before she died, there was like several pamphlets that were written about her life that were kind of they were all lies, if I remember correctly. That they were trying to make her look bad before she died. So that's what the movie's about. And it's a parody. It's a comedy. Like it's such a crazy movie. Like there's a scene that I'm dressed up like a goat with like latex hooves on, and like 2 other people are dressed like lambs, and like we're like slowly on all fours, like walking to like where the action is, and then one of the lambs gets on all fours, and I'm ramming them in the ass, and the other one's ramming them in the front, and then like we're all with our hooves, like I high five the guy that's on the ground, he high fives the other guy standing, and then me and the other guy standing high five each other.
Okay.
And then there's another scene where I'm dressed up like a Catholic cardinal, and I ram someone in the butt. And the last scene that I filmed anyway, I don't know where it's going to be in the movie, but they dressed me up like a woman, and I was being real bratty because someone was trying to take credit for something that I did. It's such a crazy movie. It's going to be good.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Was it what was it filmed for?
Specifically for the Oculus.
Oh no.
So
but like was it an independent project? Did
Yeah.
it have some kind of like backing? That's so dope though. Is like they're actually now filming is actually going into virtual reality. Like
I think that we're pioneering something new, dude. Like, and I got the job through networking. Like the guy that told me about this, I had an acting class with, and the director told me what the movie was going to be about over the phone, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally down to do this. And everyone on the cast were super amazing. Everyone was just really, really, really talented and welcoming and friendly and nice. And if you were struggling with something, they would help you out. Like, oh, hey, we should do it like this. It was just a really great experience.
Nice.
Like I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I have to that experience probably seems so dope though. Like having the Oculus where you're actually just watching the movie, but yet they're probably having dialect right in front of you, but you still can turn to the side and be like, "What the fuck?" Like seeing what's going on right next to you.
Yeah, and we filmed at the rail yards, the old rail yards.
Okay.
So like everyone's dressed up in this nice. Because when was Marie Antoinette alive, in the 1700s, 1600s?
Okay.
We were dressed up in like that period of clothing, And then you see all this with a nice old couch, nice rug and everything, and then everything around is all broken down and shitty looking.
Oh, okay. That's dope. So you're actually just putting your foot in there and just doing what you can, right?
Yeah.
And that's a dope role, though. It sounds like you had fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I played several small parts. I wasn't like one of the main characters.
But still, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you're getting your foot in the door in some kind of aspect.
yeah. And when you watch the movie, because it was me and two other guys that played what they refer to as the players, after a while you start realizing, oh, these are the same people that keep popping up. They have more to do.
Oh, okay. That's still pretty sick, though. Damn, like, I can't wait. Where is it going to be put at? Like, where can people watch it?
I don't know exactly yet. All I know is it's for the Oculus, and the editing will be done in like 2 to 3 months.
I don't have an Oculus. I can't see it on an Oculus.
Maybe it'll be released on YouTube as well. I don't know.
Unfortunately, you're gonna have to buy an Oculus to see my movies.
Actually, I've seen some 3D stuff done like on YouTube, so you can actually like watch it with your phone.
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah. That's pretty crazy too when they do stuff like that. Well, they have that feature now too, where you like take a picture and it pans. You're supposed to pan your phone so that the next person, when you post it, they can do the same thing. Is that, I don't know, I think that's kind of intrusive though. Like, you don't need to see what I have on the left side of my viewing pleasure. It's weird.
On your business.
It's weird. That's like almost reality TV at that point. Like, I'm just fucking, hey, let me show you what's going on this end.
Dude, speaking of movies, do you have a movie that you just have a favorite soundtrack for? Like the soundtrack was made for the movie.
Fucking, have you ever heard of a movie called Maximum Overdrive by Stephen King? That is it. So I don't know if you know this, the soundtrack to that movie is actually all done by AC/DC.
Oh shit.
Not only that, they do all the sound bits as well. So any little, like an emotional scene, you just literally hear them play a guitar or something. They do every sound on that movie.
Nice.
That's hands down probably one of my favorite movies too. Like, it's kind of cheesy, you know, the whole fucking aliens come down and take over the machines, and then the machines end up killing people.
Yeah.
But it was cool, well written, kind of scared me back in the day. But the music is what blew me away. The song "Who Made Who" by that's kind of based off of that soundtrack and stuff.
Nice.
So that's probably my biggest one is Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. I think I have it on DVD. I just haven't watched it all the way through. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Dude, that movie is amazing. I fucking love it so much. It's Charlie Sheen's brother's in it. Fucking
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, and he's like way cooler. I mean, god damn it, they gave the wrong role to Hollywood, or Hollywood gave the wrong role to the brothers.
Patrice O'Neal had a good jab at him because he was at Charlie Sheen's roast, and he's like, "Man, Emilio does everything right, and he still can't get everything."
Oh man, I have to watch that one again. That roast is funny. I love that shit. What's for you?
Lately, I don't know if it's my favorite, but the last few days, for whatever reason, I've been like just hooked on the soundtrack for Prince of Egypt. Have you seen it?
Is it the one with what's his name?
It came out. It was an animated movie. Came out in 1999.
Okay, but you do know that they had a live action one too, right?
No.
The Prince of Persia, you said?
Prince of Egypt.
Of Egypt. Oh, no.
Yeah, not Prince of Persia. No.
Not
the video game movie.
Because they did make that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, Prince of Egypt.
I know which one you're talking about. I thought that movie was so dope too back in the day.
Dude, it's such an underrated movie. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was such an underrated movie, dude.
I can't remember any of the songs though.
And it had a stellar cast. It's about Moses. It's the story of Moses. It had such a stellar cast. It had Val Kilmer. Ray Fiennes played Pharaoh, who Moses' brother, who grows up to be Pharaoh.
Jeff Goldblum,
Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Steve Martin, Martin Short. Everyone is like, it was such a good movie. The animation was on point. The songs, what was it? The beginning scene where like Moses' mom is putting him in the basket. It's such like it tugs on my heartstrings no matter how many times I see it. Where like she's putting him in the basket, and she sends him off, and then like the shot is of her face, and like the wind's kind of blowing her scarf, and like she has a tear coming down, and then like she has a second one coming down because she knows she's never gonna see him again. And it tugs on my heartstrings.
Well, it's crazy to think about that DreamWorks really had to compete with Disney at that point because Prince of Egypt is a DreamWorks movie, but yet you still had these emotional classics like fucking The Lion King, Aladdin, fucking The Little Mermaid. So the fact that another company can take that actual thing where they're just like, hey, let's do exactly what Disney does, but let's try to do it in our own franchise. And now DreamWorks is like this amazing thing that rivals Disney, Pixar, whatever in that aspect. But that blows me away too because for the longest time I always thought that it was a Disney movie.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, look at all this.
It is a DreamWorks movie, huh?
Yeah, it's a DreamWorks movie.
I forget about that. Yeah,
and that blows me away too is because like, oh my god, there actually was kind of like this
the competition
going on with them at that time too. Like all through the 90s, they're both pushing out movies that are just holy shit,
in the early 2000s. Yeah. It was like the Monday Night Wars, man.
Yeah.
They push each other to make a better quality product.
Hey, that don't you love capitalism? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people that disagree with that stuff, I guess I understand, but they just don't really understand the way it works. I mean,
there's this guy. Well, were you there at the garage the last time we did the garage when I did like the quote of that really that I called him an American capitalist villain in a movie where he's like if fuck, what did he say? I forget his name. I found out his name today. It's Dan something, but he's like an old guy. He was like, if you think he was saying, if you think money can't buy happiness, then you don't know where to shop.
Yeah.
If you have money, you can save the world. If you have money, you can go save the forests of Brazil. If you have money, you can go save global warming. But without money, you can't save a fucking thing. Don't you understand? Don't the fucking idiots on YouTube understand that? Without money, you can't do anything. You gotta make some shekels. Gotta make some fucking coin. Because if love got the job done, y'all wouldn't be fucked up.
We all would have everything done. I have heard of that kind of saying before, too. Is like nobody can really do anything unless they have money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of shitty to think about, too.
It is. I mean, there's a truth to it. There's a truth to it. But you got to keep all things in balance. You don't want to be such an asshole, nobody likes you, and then someone like me cuts their pubes into tiny pieces and puts them in your chewing tobacco.
Or you just sell them on the internet and make more money than I ever could. I would be pissed. I'd be like, how the fuck is William's pubes selling so well? Like, Jesus. I would be horrified. Oh, man. Here's a topic that kind of blows me away right now. How do you feel that the United States keeps shooting out things about UFOs? Everything's about UFOs now. Like
I hope the next thing is
back in the day there was like
actual aliens popping up.
We were scared. They never would have done anything like this. Okay, this is a theory. This is a conspiracy theory. Have you ever heard of desensitization?
Yeah.
So they're slowly giving us this information so that when it actually does happen, it's not going to be as extreme or as
shocking to us.
Yeah. So this can be one of those things where they're just slowly giving us these little things when all of a sudden they can't really explain why there's a 10 football field fucking aircraft right in our atmosphere.
Dude, I bet you they could show that shit to us tonight and we'd be like super excited about it because most people already know something that's out there, you know? With as many planets and galaxies that are out there, how are we the only ones alive on a planet, you know?
I like how you say that, but then again, you're not part of Legacy Church. You're not part of the Mormon religion. This is what kind of trumps that, is that there are all those people that would probably go crazy. Like that literally everything we thought about life would be totally changed. Mm-hmm. Like we couldn't even comprehend it anymore. Mm-hmm. I think that's why it's a scary aspect for some people, but yet very enticing for people like you and me. Mm-hmm. Like we're just like, holy fuck, hell yeah, I always thought it would have been something like this. Well, other people's life would just be ruined after that.
Well, imagine if the idea of God is as we think it is and other planets are coming to see us because we're like the chosen race.
Imagine. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. That's actually a good skit.
It'd be like fucking
Jared, if you're listening.
It'd be like Ramsey's be getting shit on all the time, and Moses is always like the golden child, you know?
You're like, what the fuck, man?
Like, what the fuck?
You're the one that gets to bring the tablets down,
Yeah.
asshole.
What I loved about, I was gonna tap on this before we pass it by. Two of the songs that I love in that movie were, they were called All I Wanted, and then the other one was called The Plagues, because it was when the 10 plagues were coming down on Egypt.
Yeah.
But they're like this, they were the same song, but they wrote different lyrics for both of them. So like the first one was when Moses meets his sister as an adult, and he's like it shocks him to the realization that he might not be Egyptian, that he might be Jewish, and he starts like running back to his like to like the Egyptian temple, and he's like. Trust me, I was being like a drama acting nerd the other day. I was like doing this in my house. I was acting all over my house like this. Like he was like running. He's like gleaming in the moonlight, cool and clean, and all I've ever known, all I ever wanted. Sweet perfumes of incense, graceful rooms of alabaster stone, all I ever wanted. This is my home, with my father, mother, and brothers, and all my trappings and belongings. I belong. Now I am home. If anyone doubts it, they couldn't be more wrong. You know?
Yeah.
And then it switches over to the plagues, and then he's like, this was my home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when like all the shit's happening, all the suffering and pain, how it tortures me inside.
I wonder if you have that realization that, like, man, it was all kind of like materialism at that point. Because, I mean, being born in that, like, kind of...
With the golden spoon, with the silver spoon in your mouth?
Yeah, it's, like, so hard to, like... They say that it's so hard for a rich person to turn poor because they never knew what poor was. But a poor person can be rich and then still become poor again and not worry about him.
Not be like about how he'll be.
Yeah, it's like I fucked up. Oh well, I've been poor before. It's not like I can't do it again.
Yeah.
So that's what's crazy to think about in that aspect, is because he was pretty much all the way from the beginning given like this high platter, but yet he was part of, you know, what they thought was kind of like shitty aspect. Like,
Yeah.
that, man, religion, gotta love it.
Yeah, and then like Moses was talking like, man, this was like, it's such an emotional movie. Oh, it tugs at my heart. This is
He's like, I'm gonna go watch that too.
Yeah. he is like, man, Pharaoh, why are you calling down all these blows? This can stop at any time. And then Pharaoh, who's played by Ray Fiennes, who also does the singing for the movie for his parts, which is real cool. He's like, he who I called brother, how could you have come to hate me so? Is this what you wanted? Like, he's like, let my heart be hardened. Never mind how high the cost may go. This will still be so. I will never let your people go. And then they both crescendo into like, I won't let your people go, and then let my people go at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they hit that same note, and it's just okay. I'm gonna calm down my Broadway nerd part of me right now.
But that's dope, though. I get what you're saying. Like, even the way that they intertwine those is so
Yeah.
dope. I kind of remember that song where they're like kind of like describing two aspects of life, but yet it's still kind of contradicting each other.
Yeah.
That was dope. That movie was dope. I get it's a good. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, even if you're not a religious person, it's still a cool experience.
Yeah. Artistically, it's a great movie.
It's a dope that you brought up that movie too. And I was like, this one was a good movie. I still probably remember it over a lot of other DreamWorks movies. So
Broadway songs where you look at the lyrics and they don't like rhyme like every other word, just like just the way they rhyme some of the words, how it connects, it's just beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. I want to do it so bad.
There you go, man. That's dope ambition for sure. Like, oh man, I guess we're all kind of in that aspect too, because I have this thing where like I'll talk to some comedians and they
Yeah.
will just be like, "Oh, I don't do it to be famous. I do it just to
Yeah.
have fun and stuff like that." Fuck no, you don't.
I know.
There's no way. Everybody that goes on stage and does stand-up comedy does it because they have that ambition to be famous.
Yes.
But it's harder when people don't admit it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like it just
And like I appreciate when people do it for the love of it. Yeah, they don't chase the money. They don't chase the money, but they do it for the love of it. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
But to say that you wouldn't do it for money, that is a bold-faced lie.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're good at something, to quote the Joker of all people, if you're good at something, you never do it for free. Yeah, I mean, if you have a true talent, like to do stand-up comedy, to act, to do any type of performance, that is a legitimate skill a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
Like some people are doctors, some people are construction workers. Those are skills that other people have. Acting is a skill. And like you could I think it was Matthew McDuffie. He's the one that teaches the screenwriting class at Soul Acting Studios. That's the place I've been doing my acting classes at. I do my dialect training at Southwest Voices. Anyway, without
All
going
these
down,
damn shameless plugs. Go for it.
I'm not even getting paid for that. They're just awesome.
They're just getting some cred.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But anyways.
Fuck, where's I going with this?
Oh man, I have to ruin it with a joke.
But yeah, if you have like a legitimate, Matthew McDuffie, he was saying that storytelling has probably saved more lives than medical science has done since the birth of medical science. Because if you can inspire someone to go do something with their life, fuck, imagine how many more lives that person affected by going up and making something of themselves.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, though, like even when like they create just like, oh, I thought of this idea of like a space stellar traveling machine.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of puts the head in some scientists where they're just like, hey, this actually might be. Let's
Yeah.
So even that aspect of like imagining and being able to think of these things outside the box, I'm pretty sure it helps benefit even the world of science and like anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's cool to think about too, is like, again, your influence of like being an actor kind of comes from like creating from somebody else that's just trying to like create something for like in science or like even acting or even just like in music or in any kind of art form, like in painting and stuff like that too. Like, have you ever done any modeling yet?
Not yet, but I'm not against it.
There you go. See, that'd be dope. You
Yeah.
guys hit him up, WilliamWheeler.com.
Yeah.
Do you have any promotional things? Like what do you promote yourself on?
I'm on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, William Wheeler.
You posted a lot of your stand up on there, right?
Every open mic, every show, I throw it up on there.
Everyone.
Everyone. It's not just for like the viewers' enjoyment. It's for my growth as well. I look back and watch it, and like if you go back and watch some of my very first ones, and then you compare it to what I do now, you could definitely see a growth. Like just in state, not even just joke structure, just stage presence, being comfortable on stage. And then after a while, I start writing better jokes, and you'll see my time in my life where I used props as a crutch for a while. I'm not ashamed to say it. I used props as a crutch for a while.
I feel like props are not a crutch if they're done correctly.
But if you're doing the same thing, you're not wrong. But to add on to that, if I was doing the same props over and over and over again, and I wasn't trying to add new stuff into it, that's where using it as a crutch came into play.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't writing new prop material. My latest prop material is probably my Cleveland Browns bit.
Oh shit! But still, that's a lot to kind of like. You still have to think of the prop, and not only that, think of the premise and the joke behind the prop. That's kind of difficult, and I think is difficult in itself.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to write a verbal joke than it is for a prop joke, in my opinion.
I totally get that. But again, most of the stuff you promote on, where can people find you, stuff like that?
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I'm on Snapchat.
What are these handles they can find you at?
Fuck. Okay.
Obviously, William Wheeler on Facebook.
Probably the best one to see me working my craft would be YouTube. William Wheeler.
William Wheeler.
If you just want to talk to me, you'll find me William Wheeler on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm like William Wheeler, I think the 8th, because my full name is William Wayne Wheeler the third, but the third was taken, so I had to take the eighth on Instagram.
You're like literally going down the numbers. You're like
Yeah.
the fifth? No.
Fifth, no.
The sixth?
Sixth? No. Seventh? No.
No.
8? Yeah.
Damn.
But another thing I'm a cast of is The Dinner Detective, which is a murder mystery dinner show at the Marriott.
Oh, okay.
And they also do private parties as well. Like the last show I did was at somebody's house, which is real cool.
Interesting.
So it's a little bit harder to hide that you're part of the cast when you're a seated actor when it's at someone's house, because obviously if they don't recognize you, you're probably one of the actors.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. Sometimes like Tito Damron is one of the and Rusty, they're both like detectives for the show. Dawn Sherry, she's the one that got me into it. She told me about the auditions that they're holding for it, and like I got it, and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
When are those? Like, is it just like they let you know ahead of time, or is it just like every weekend, or how does that work?
They typically do right now. I think they do like 1 to 2 shows a month, depending on everything. We've been slowly getting back to our normal way we do the show since COVID's calming down now. So I'm actually scheduled to do a show this Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah. So we might have to start the garage a little bit later.
Everyone's doing something on Saturday, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that's going on. There's actually a comedy award going on Saturday.
Comedy awards?
Yeah, at Sidewinders. I'll find the flyer right away. But they're doing this comedy award where it's like comedy award / open mic, which is like horrible. But yeah, they're doing that. What else are they doing? There's another show on Saturday. Troy show with that guy from New York.
Oh, John Sapayano?
Yeah, Separnaros or
Yeah.
something like that.
Sopapilla.
Oh, man. But yeah, they have that going on. Then obviously the garage is going on as well. So there's a bunch of things going on that day. When is your murder mystery at? What time? Let fans know when they might be able to catch it.
I'll be there this Saturday. I don't know if there's still tickets available, but you Google Dinner Detective Albuquerque, because it's not just in Albuquerque. We have shows in Colorado and in Nashville. I think we have a few spots within the country.
Okay.
But yeah, you just Dinner Detective Albuquerque, and it'll be like one of the first things that pops up.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And anything else social media wise that I think you can find you at?
No, that's about it, man.
Jesus, you got to get more out there, man.
I got to get more out there.
Get yourself a Twitter.
Twitter. Technically, I do have a Twitter, but I can't log back into it because I don't remember. It was with an old email, and I don't remember my password.
That's hilarious.
They made me make it when I was in high school in computer class.
That's the same thing with some of my YouTube channels. Like I have old school YouTube channels that I can never delete those videos ever again because obviously I don't remember the password for them. So I'm just like, fuck. There's a video where I'm describing lesbians. I'm just like, great, this is out there. If I ever become famous, that's the first video they're gonna
be out there.
They're gonna take that one right away. I'm just gonna be like, it was a fun time. Let me tell you, that's for sure.
And if you want some solar panels, let me know.
No, yes.
Schedule an appointment.
Where can they find you with that?
And just give me a call, 505-508-9539.
There you go, solar panels extraordinaire.
Sun Pro Solar. There you go.
Take one of these bad boys.
There you go.
There you go. There you go, everybody. You guys see it. There you go. You're going to get a bunch of spam now, and people are just going to be calling you. Just be like, I want nothing but coal. Give me coal power.
Hi, William. Are you registered to vote? Awesome. Are you going to vote for Melanie Stansbury? God damn.
That comes in more often than not.
Y'all called me several times already. Please stop calling me.
Oh, man.
Nothing against her. It's just they called me like several times. I talked to the first 2 people like no one had called me before, but by like the 5th time, I kind of snapped on the person.
You're just like, I'm done. I'm done.
I felt bad. Yeah, but
that's like fucking.
And I think I pissed off the guy because I snapped at him because someone called me again the same day.
They're trying to like renew your fucking extended warranty. Like, no, leave me alone.
Fucking pick up a beer bottle and it's like, hi, we've been trying to reach you for your extended warranty. You open up a fucking fortune cookie. Hi, we've been trying to reach you for your extended warranty.
You're just fucked no matter what.
Yeah.
hilarious. Wheeler, we've been here for like an hour and a half now.
Oh, okay.
It was a good podcast. I really appreciate you coming down, getting some shit situated. You guys heard where you can follow. Make sure to check him out. Facebook, YouTube, some fake Twitter account that he says he probably doesn't have.
Don't even look for that one.
We'll find it eventually. You got to come back.
I will.
There's
come back.
always so much shit to talk about, things going on. We didn't even touch the surface of you being a conservative.
Yeah, like
the Marines. We didn't even talk. We didn't talk about the Navy.
Yeah, I was on a submarine in the Navy.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about me working at a funeral home.
I didn't talk about that at all.
I know we touched on it, but I didn't even really give the backstory of the Confederate flag.
Dude, there's so much we can still cover. So
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you again for watching. You guys are awesome. Make sure to follow William Wheeler wherever you guys can. All social media sites. Make sure as well to follow MuseMe TV. We'll be having more guests in here shortly, and just you guys know what to do. Just Google it. You guys will find some shit.
I think it's important to say before we leave, I replaced the flag with a bigger American flag.
Yeah.
I think that's important to say.
So no matter what, if you have a Confederate flag, you always have to have an American flag to trump it.
Yes.
And with that being said, I love you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.